Now it can hear me. Hey, if you have not started on this yet, what you'd have to do is you have to create a sketch on the face that you want to actually export and have either vector or raster. So if I wanted to, let's say, cut out this shape here with the little corner cut, I would create a sketch on the front of it, and then I would project the geometry of that shape. The yellow lines would be where it's going to vector now. So once we have gotten those yellow lines, you can right-click on the sketch and export sketch as. You're going to export it as a DXF. Basically what a DXF is like the lines. It's just a line file. Now DXFs can be used on CNCs, they can be used on water jets, they can be used on plasma cutters. Really it's all 2D though. You can add a third dimension, but it's basically off of your programming. So really we're going to stick to the two-dimensional like the laser cutter, plasma, and water jet would be. Export it onto there. I'm going to save it as Sorg, or type it on the right keyboard because I have like 15. Hey, I had to transfer from here to here. Do you see the problem?
Yeah, it's you.
If I could tell you how many times I have typed on this keyboard when I was supposed to be typing on this, it's just ridiculous. What does it matter? If you don't like it, press the fast forward. I don't care. All right, so now you've exported that file to your jump drive. There it is. Now we're going to go into our software, which is Engrave Lab. This computer does have Engrave Lab on it. The problem is you can't save because it's not a licensed copy. Now I can do all the work for it. Yeah, I got the bootleg here. But I can do all the work, but I can't save it. So for demos it'll work, but really you have to do it on that one laptop that's really crappy back there. So you're going to go to Engrave Lab, the Photo Laser Plus. Open up that software. And the first thing that it's going to ask you is it's going to pop up a window that's going to ask you the size that you want your stock material to be. See, it says demo version. Boo.
You don't like
Oh, did that ask me if I wanted to register? I don't like to read. I just click buttons. So the first thing, depending on the size of your material, you may want to change this, you may not. If your piece of material fills up the entire laser bed, you want to change it to 24 by 18. If your piece is smaller, say you're cutting on a name tag, don't make it the size of your individual name tag, because what if you put 4 more on there? They won't fit. I usually like to keep it close to the size of the actual part, but you have to think ahead. If you want to put multiple parts on one piece, you need to think about sizing that properly. So in this case, I'm just going to make it a generic size, a 10 by 10. And you're going to see these black lines change sizes. All right, and that's representing the plate of the laser engraver or the material that you're engraving on. Top corner being 0, 0, the uppermost left corner of the laser engraver, and it's 10 inches by 10 inches. Pretty easy. After that, you're going to go to File and Import. Find your drive and find your file. Sorg. Click Import. It's going to give you this little corner that is representing your part in the top left corner. Left corner. I know. To think that I'm better than you all at Inventor. Crazy. And basically everything else in life. I'll edit that out. I'm 10 times better than you at Revit. And that's also why I'm certified in Revit. Thank you. Thank you. I already have. So, on this dialog box, maybe one day you'll be smart enough to use it. At this point, you're not. So just don't worry about it. Just click the OK button. At points in time, when you get to more complicated parts, sometimes it will leave gaps. So you can do closed shapes and remove duplicates because we don't want it to cut 15 different lines. So sometimes it'll export. And let's say you made a path around your keychain. It'll follow that path 4 times, cutting through it. Well, we don't really want it to do that. So you can change that to remove duplicates and then just say OK. Hey, and there it is. There's the shape that I was trying to export. You see, sometimes it exports like this. Sometimes it exports as like a raster file that's all filled in gray. I have no idea why it does different things based on different... It's weird. It really is just random. Sometimes it does this. I could import it again and it might do something different. I don't know. But what I like to do is always select the part and then go to Engrave, Contour, Cut. What that's going to do is it's going to put the dotted line around it, which means to actually cut the profile out. If I move it, my other profile's still there. If I leave that there, the laser is probably going to travel around my object twice. I really don't want that to happen. So I'm going to delete the one that I don't know what it's going to do with the right keyboard.
Is it just because it's a waste of time? Or would it affect the...
If you burn wood like twice, you get charred and it is more likely to catch fire. Foam board, if it runs over foam board 3 times, you're going to be in fire. You know what I mean? Like, you want it to cut through in 1 pass, and you want that 1 pass to be perfect. And if it goes more passes than that, then it has an edge. Like, think about it. On paper, if you start in the middle of a piece of paper and try and burn it with a lighter, is it that easy? No. If you go to the edge of a piece of paper and you try to burn it, is it that easy? A little bit easier to start a fire from the edge than it is from the center. When you have an edge that's already cut from the laser engraver, it's easier to start a fire. So I recommend you just change that, especially if you're contour cutting. If you want to raster, you can add different objects and text over here. There's text tools that you can place. There's squares and circles and different shapes that you can add. And if it is filled in a color like black, I don't know why that didn't fill in. Boo. Well, either way, you can add various shapes here. And the last thing that you're going to want to do before you actually press go on the printer is you have to send it there through the print, but you have to go to setup. If you don't go to your setup, you're going to be in trouble. The problem is I don't have the driver because this is a trial version. I can't go to those settings. So once you go into print, you go to setup, and in that setup, it'll bring up a different epilogue dialog box. And in that dialog box, you have to select what you want it to do for vector, what you want it to do for raster, different feeds and speeds. If you don't know those feeds and speeds, do what I do, because I don't know them either. I go on this crazy thing that is called the internet. And then I find these crazy things. I look up things like I'm typing on the other computer. Again, you see that? Like typing here, not here. Yeah, that's funny.
What did you call Google last year?
Gwaggle? Is that it? Epilogue laser. Let's see. Material settings? Well, it looks like I'm finding some different things here, right? Settings for success.
Woo!
That sounds great. Is it? I don't know. I've never looked at this page. It doesn't look great. It looks like a lot of words. No one likes that.
Yeah. It's okay. You get the full Sword experience.
But please understand, all you got to do is do a little bit of research, and you're going to find different things that say engraving speed, 70, power, 100, cutting, wood, 10 speed, 50 power, 500 frequency. Those are the 3 things that you need. Try them. If it doesn't work, modify them. Questions?